hoping it hits you in the head.
All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This scene of ours. My name is Abel Taveras. I'm here with my brother, Jeff Taveras.
What's
Jeff,
up?
how are you?
Good.
How's everything?
Great.
Okay, great. Edwin, again, couldn't be with us. He had some prior engagements. Obviously, Edwin is very, very busy as of late, but we're going to get him back on here as soon as we can. So, Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yes.
Anything new in life?
I have a kid soon.
Yeah?
Yes.
You excited about that?
Yes.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. You don't not giving me the vibe of excitement.
No, I'm excited.
Like you're giving me like the new 2K excitement is coming out.
The
Not
new what?
like the new 2K is coming out.
Nah, I'm excited. It's just it's like a whole.
Do you have a name yet?
Kevin?
Kevin.
Like Home Alone, Kevin? Kevin?
No,
like that.
You're not gonna name your kid Kevin.
Nah, I'm probably not.
But do you guys have a name yet?
No, we don't.
All right. Abel's always. Anyways,
We'll see.
yeah, I doubt it. Julie would never.
We'll see.
So, 2025 has started out with a little bit of a bang, would you say? There's a lot of stuff going on so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Any like notable things you want to kind of like readdress or like touch on?
Notable things like what? Personal or?
No, obviously on our scene. I don't know if you want to touch on any personal stuff. You'd love to share with the group. We'd love to hear it. We're here to support you, and we're
No, I mean it's been interesting. Some videos,
yeah.
some conversations.
Yep, we've had some interesting videos for sure. Yo, let's give a shout out to Mickey on 3. I don't know you, but my man, your Instagram is on fire. Like,
Yeah,
we love
crazy.
your videos. You're crazy, dude. We love your videos. Your edits are flawless.
Mm-hmm.
You must have a very, very good group of people sending you stuff because you're
Yeah.
just hitting on all levels right now.
Yeah.
What else? We had the summit.
We had the summit in January. We had MDN. We had SBK.
SBK. Yep.
Yeah. So it's been a
It's been like, I feel like a lot's happened so far in 2025.
yeah.
And we've had the videos obviously emerging, and the
Yeah.
conversations of what's appropriate and inappropriate on the dance
Yeah.
floor has been something. I know you've had a few conversations. I know you did a live with Ismail a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I thought that
We
was
had-
pretty cool.
We had that conversation. Obviously, Michael Fons had a video. Shout out to Michael.
Yo,
But looked a little crazy.
yeah.
So the question is like, is the video like just regular dancing that has been transpiring for years, or is it inappropriate? And I guess that's the conversation that we had, that Ismail and I had. We had it through social media, and then we saw each other in person and continued it.
Yeah.
And it's
What was my reaction? Do you remember?
no, I don't.
I said he's Cuban,
Yeah, actually, yeah, you did
right?
say that.
And what do I mean by that? Let me kind of be sure I'm a little bit. I clarify that. I feel like the rueda dancing is really different in terms of like the partner work structure from like on one dancers and on two. I feel like that's a whole other thing.
Well, Reda's one thing, and then what he's doing is something else.
I got you. And listen, it's not something that I would do. It would be my personal choice. But I feel like there's a lot more chances that are taken. I think that's fair to say?
Well, I think, look, here's what it comes down to, right? Like, what it comes down to, and what I told Ismail is that just because something's been done for years doesn't mean that it's still okay.
Okay.
And just because something is cultural doesn't mean that it's gonna rock elsewhere. So, like when Ismail, he had his arguments, and he was like, look, I wouldn't do that, but I think people are being too sensitive about their response. And where I think I got him was when I told him, I said, okay, let's say you're at an event and you do this with somebody that you know, and you do the head tuck and it all goes well. And then let's say you do that with like a regular student or a regular attendee that nobody knows, and all of a sudden they're not okay with it. Which route do we go? Like, now all of a sudden they make a complaint, right? So now they make a complaint. What's the excuse? Well, this has been done for years. This is Cuban. This is none of that's gonna rock.
None of it's gonna go.
And that's my point. That we could say it's people being sensitive, but if a bunch of people are complaining about it, then maybe we should pay attention to it. That's the point that I was trying to make.
Okay, point taken. We also had another incident with a backflip, which actually hit a young lady, and like caused some sort of injury. I don't know all the details of her injury, but I do know that that was another, I guess, point of contention.
Well, again, this year. I mean, he's probably executed that 70 times and been okay. And the reality of this world, or this country at least, is that you can do 100 things right, and be okay. But you do one thing wrong, and nobody really cares about those 100 things ever again.
Yeah.
So why do I say that? Do I think it was malicious? No. Do I think he's attempted this millions of times and probably got away with it? Yes. But this time he didn't. So now what? Now the answer is for change and reform.
Yeah.
And, is it overreacting? Well,
no, I don't think. Listen, somebody got hurt.
Well, let's take a look at it from one extreme to the next, right? Let's say you attempt a move and you hit somebody upside the head, and he knocked him out. But let's say he kicks a little bit harder and he kills her.
Yeah.
Right? Now what? Right? Like,
yes.
Seriously.
It's kind of crazy to think about it in terms of that.
Nobody thinks about it that way. But, you can literally kick somebody upside the head and end their life. So, then what? Then what are we saying? What's the response to that, right? And again, I don't think he did it intentionally, right? But just because you didn't intend to do it doesn't mean that you shouldn't take a step back and say to yourself, okay, wait a minute. What was it that happened here? And maybe I should reconsider for the future.
Yeah.
And that's the point. And I think that the issue that we're having is that most people look at this as, well, people have been doing backflips forever.
Yeah, but
unfortunately, it's not the time that we live in.
Yeah.
And regardless of, listen, like I said this to Ismael, I have a very high sensitivity threshold. I'm not really sensitive to a lot of things. But that doesn't matter. Nobody really cares about my sensitivity threshold when it comes to a situation like this. And I think as a promoter, my first thing, the thing that I worry about the most is, what if this was Tri-State?
Oh my God.
What if this was New York Salsa Congress? And I think once I go there, everything changes.
Yeah. I mean, we had a girl get injured and just the most innocent, and we were freaking out.
Yeah, because it's
we
scary.
were full panic.
And listen, I do not pass the buck. So whenever there's an issue at my event, I give it a face, and we are responsible for
100%.
everything that happens. So one way or another, we have to respond to it, and I think people lose sight of that.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand that, we do have to take responsibility for these things that happen. So, unfortunate.
I hope she's okay.
Yeah, I hope she's okay too.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it was malicious.
No.
And it's funny because another video came out, and when the other video
What is
came
the
out,
third one?
there was another head tug that came out that was,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
but the question is it the same or is it different? Well, it's tough to answer that because
I think it's a case. I think each one is a case, individual case, right? It's a case by case kind of thing that you should assess it because different people, different things, different. I don't know.
different relationships.
Different relationships.
If I did that to Julie, how would she respond? Right?
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah. Everything's relative.
every
terms,
right.
which is, I guess, 100%. So we also had, we've had a few events.
Mm-hmm.
We had the summit. What do you think about the competition this year?
Thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any like standouts that you'd like to?
I thought Iroko did the thing. I think Angel and Stephanie showed out for the first one.
Okay.
I thought Querencia did a lot better than people thought. I thought Julia and Michelle did really well.
Okay, I agree with that.
Who else? Yoleth, I think she improved tremendously.
Yo, bro, that girl absolutely destroyed all week. Like it was, talk about dominance, talk about dominating what you do. That girl dominated every aspect of every single good trait she has as an athlete and as a dancer for a week. It was really impressive to see.
Yeah.
She was so good. It was that whole Milwaukee situation. I don't know what they're putting in that water. But
Milwaukee
they got
was
some
good.
really good salsa dancing.
It's funny because
Milwaukee, bro, holy
sitting
moly,
there
guacamole.
watching Summit is like, it's like it's like that. It's like that
animal
dog-
in you?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like a caged animal, like that.
Like you just, part of you is like, like,
Yeah, not me. I was sleep deprived, so
yeah. Well, you were working, but for me, I didn't judge this year. Last year I couldn't go at all, but the couple years before that I was judging. This year I went, and it's like, you start to think about it, and you're competitive.
you want to do it again?
I don't know if I want to do it again. I don't know. I think the bigger question is, could I? Like I look at the team division and
You
I'm
could.
like, no, I look at the team division and I'm like, could I win? And I think, that is, I guess I'll never shake that. That's always gonna cross my mind where I look at the team division and think about it and say to myself, if I put my mind to it, could I win?
No.
And the truth is that I feel like if I wanted to go that route, like I could still win. And I don't know if there's anything that could change my mind, but
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it.
Okay, interesting. All right. Any other standouts?
The Colombian couple that won Cabaret, that
Nice,
was very
that was cool.
entertainment.
Yep.
Jaime and Sasha were very entertaining.
Yo,
Pipe, of
hold on one
course.
second. Sasha was out of here.
Yeah,
That girl
they're dope.
is.
They're dope.
I saw a thing that she posted on. She was at an event and she did like a little solo, and she did like her little Simone Biles spin. She stood up and then transitioned to like having her leg in a full extension and spinning like that. I was just like, yo, this is next
Yeah.
level. This is a whole different type of like not human.
Yeah, so it was cool. Summit is Summit. it's a long week.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
Yeah, I saw
That's
every
not gonna
show this
change.
year at Summit.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yeah, it's
There's a lot of talent, man. There's so much talent,
Yeah.
in the dance world. And I will tell you what I took away from Summit. The Colombians are coming.
Yeah.
The Colombians are coming.
Well, we felt like that for years.
We've
always felt like
Colombians now. They're learning on two, and the Colombians are coming, ladies.
I think we've always felt that. I think that it's just, like we've always felt like the talent is there. Like, when are they gonna put it together? And I feel like it's happening now.
It's happening now, and
They definitely take it very serious.
They take it very seriously. The talent is off the charts, and they're starting to transition from the Caleño stuff to learning kind of what we do. And boy, oh boy, was it something to watch this week. I mean, that week, it was like, a lot of talent. All right?
Yeah.
So we followed that up with MDN.
Yeah.
MDN was amazing this year. It appears that she grew substantially, and we had Dan on as a guest, and she was awesome. And then we had SBK the week after that. And that was also Super Bowl weekend,
Yeah.
which I won a box.
We did.
Not I won a box.
Nah, when you win, we win. The Chiefs got their ass kicked.
Chiefs got their asses kicked, yes. And then I think we're all caught up.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've gotten some interesting messages about our interview with Luis Segarra at this point, who was awesome. Luis, he's a very specific brand of taste, and he came out here. He said what he had to say. It was we respect his opinion, and one thing we wanted to highlight was what he's done for our scene.
Yeah.
And he had some choice.
We don't have to agree with everything.
We don't have to agree with everything. That's okay. But nonetheless, like, he's someone who's pivotal in our scene, who's done a lot for our scene, and we definitely wanted to make sure to highlight that, which I thought was really cool. So, we haven't done one of these, just me and you, in quite some time. I don't think we've done one of these since the second episode.
Yeah, it was about a year ago.
Now,
So it's been a year since I quit my job in corrections. Tomorrow it'll be a year.
Will it?
Yeah.
Cool. So the first episode, we talked a lot about who you were, where you were as a dancer, and I think we left off like in 2012. 2006?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, you sure? I think
Yeah.
we got a lot further.
2006.
Okay, so 2006, where did we leave off? Let's go back there.
When I joined SR.
When you joined SR, okay. SR was located where?
124th and 2nd Avenue.
Yes, that's in Harlem, by the way, for those of you that don't know.
On the 2nd floor.
Second floor, yep, right next to the bodega.
Yes.
A lot of memories in Harlem.
A lot of memories in Harlem.
One memory that I thought about, you're going to laugh at this. We went to Cancun one year, and there was a practice party the night before. What year was that? 2006, 2007?
We went in 2006 and
That was
2007,
That
but
was
it was 07.
07. And I remember me, you, and Edwin at the practice party, like, counting the minutes down to get out of there. So we could just leave to go on vacation. So I also was talking to Bridget this week, and I remember Bridget had the Ford Taurus, the one they used in RoboCop. So anybody who's seen RoboCop or just wants to know what I'm talking about, Google RoboCop like pictures, and you'll see the Ford Taurus that they used in that
The
movie.
1988
And
Ford
Bridget,
Taurus.
and it was all
She had a baby
banged up.
blue one.
A
with,
baby blue one, just like they had in the
tape
movie.
all over the bumper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get there.
Listen, that time was
What a time to be alive.
yeah, it was I remember it vividly. I remember like showing up to the Sunday rehearsal, Danny running it, exhibición rehearsal. What?
You remember when Anthony uses the spin drill? Just go.
Yeah, Anthony was very, very, very intense. Freddie, Paul was unique.
Yeah.
Daniel and Scott, Big Mike, who passed away,
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace.
We it was definitely a unique cast of characters, but it was nonetheless it was a great time.
Definitely was unique. It definitely was unique.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know where we were going today because I always leave it up to Abel, but SR was it holds a very weird place in my life. If I have to be 100% honest about it, met a lot of good people. You know, I have great relationships with a lot of the people, and I have a lot of love for a lot of the people that I met through that time. But at the same time, like the way that my time ended with SR was just so bitter that a lot of me kind of just puts that off to the side. I don't really think about it much, and
Yeah.
I don't acknowledge it as much as maybe I should.
What do you mean? What do you mean acknowledge it? What does that mean?
What I mean is that, like, you know, we were there so much,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know, if you dance for Santo Rico, it was a requirement to live in the studio, right? So we were there Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, pretty much, and then we were there Saturdays, Sundays, and we were there all day. And when you're around people that much, you develop certain bonds, and you start to get to know each other in a very different way because you just spend
So much time with each other.
so much time with each other, right? And then obviously, like, you know, my relationship with Thomas like ended really sour, and because of that, like, that time is not held in a higher regard, right? So it's like when I think about my college baseball career, there's some negatives, but I also like it's like I revere my coach because, like, you know, the shit he did was outrageous, but there's a point where you kind of realize like why he did that, and you acknowledge it and you appreciate it. And then there's a time where you come back and you get appreciated differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all of that kind of makes it makes it come full circle.
Yeah.
Like with SR, like I didn't have that,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, like that makes it a little bit like it makes your time bittersweet there.
Okay. I guess I understand that. I can understand that. I get it.
You can or you can't.
I can understand that. I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'm in a position to tell you how you should feel about it.
How do you feel about your time in SR?
I think it was.
I'm afraid to ask that.
No, the truth.
Yeah.
The truth is that in the grand scheme of it all, Thomas was not SR at all.
That's how I feel too.
SR were the people. It was Raynette. It was being with you and Edwin. It was all the people that we worked with, like Lisette. It was, going to eat lunch on Sundays while the spin class was happening.
Right.
It was, going and doing the shows, us. Even when I came back, our relationship with Fausto, who was there at the time, Destiny, Raisa, Jasmine. I think that they
Missy.
were Missy is the sister we never had. We grew up. My parents, we only had boys, and if we would have had a sister, it would have been
At
Missy.
that time. Because we met, we actually met Missy before Dominique
Yeah,
was
well,
born.
and I said, I'm sorry, Dominique, I apologize. But like in terms of like like Jasmine and Missy, those would have been like, they could have easily been sister of ours
Right.
or cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like even so my recollection of that time is more that, and that's what I take. So in terms of the other stuff, like yeah, man, this guy was just a piece of shit. I know I mention it quite often, and I know it sounds like a joke, but realistically, what it boils down to is that he was just a piece of shit. And if we dwell or harp on the fact that we got dealt a shitty human being at the helm of it, then it would take away, but it doesn't take away because I think for me, the important thing that I take is that the people. I don't think it has anything to do with him. And I think that that's a reflection of the environment that we all happen to just be in, right? He was a shitty person to all of us. You know what I'm saying? And we never ever let that deter us from building a bond. Like, yo, at the end of the day, like, yo, I don't see Jasmine often, but yo, me and Jasmine talk all the time. Yo, how are you? ¿Cómo tú estás? Dime de ti. Mm-hmm. You know, me and Jasmine, we have a special connection. Missy and I don't talk all the time, but yo, like when we, you know, Missy's now in Florida. But like, yo, like these are special people and they hold special places in our hearts. So I understand what you mean though. Like, I think I'm more mad about the money.
No, I'm not. I'm
more mad about the money than I am about.
I'm not mad about the money.
I am.
What I'm mad about. I'm mad about the fact that
somebody told us not to pay him too.
Yeah,
and we should have listened.
So
fucking idiots we were.
So yeah, it'd be difficult to like. I feel like to explain it, but you know, long story short, like. You know, obviously, I was with SR for years, and I traveled, and when Renette passed away, you know, I guess this is a story that hasn't really been told, but I'll start telling it, and we'll see how far we get.
The World Ventures one?
No.
Oh, okay, that's a whole other episode.
Mm-hmm. So when Renette passed away...
Hold on 1 second for context. Who was Renette? Because a lot of people...
Okay, Renette was our admin.
In the studio?
Yeah. So, look, I'm going to say something right here. This is probably because I've been drinking a little bit, but I'm going to say it anyway. Okay? I was never, ever close. I probably wasn't top 10, not even close to being top 10 dancers that dance for Santo Rico. I'm okay with that. But if you had to put a number on who were the most important people that dance for Santo Rico, I would say it was probably Wilton. I would say probably Thomas. And I would say that I would fight for the third spot with anybody else.
You know what you sound like right now?
Who?
Who are the three most influential people?
Dylan. Because I spit hot fire.
Give me some.
No, it's not because
our immaturity is so perfect.
It's not because of that.
I know why you're saying no. I know. I just
I'm gonna explain
that
because people don't know.
Yeah.
So, who was I in SR? I was in a team full of a whole bunch of talented dancers that we had Thomas as our leader, and then you had me that helped keep everybody together, keep everybody in line, and fix every problem. That was my job.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I don't really care, like, how people feel about this. I can prove it, and I can bring up situations, and, you know, we can literally go back and forth with this.
Yeah.
So, I started dancing in SR in 2006, and in 2009, I started traveling. And just so that people can understand, we were probably the busiest company in New York City. It wasn't Yamule, it was us. And in the middle of all of this, I wanted out. So think about that. I was traveling to Europe twice a week, twice a month, and I wanted out. I didn't want to do it. Think about that.
Yeah.
Everybody would be dying to do that now.
Yeah.
And, I went in, I said, look, I got to go, whatever. And Greece was supposed to be my last show, which was in December. And he asked me to go to Zurich, and at the time, Zurich was the biggest event. I kind of regret not doing it. I should have done it. But I was like, nah, I got to go. I didn't go to Zurich. Caesar went. And I left the team in December 2009. So for those of you that have been dancing, think about this. In 2009, I retired from dancing. Okay? So I left.
That was 16 years ago, just for context.
In April, he calls me and he says, hey, we had the HBO documentary. Can you come and do the Tribeca show? Because Julie was new on Exhibición and she was having trouble. Right? And I hadn't known Julie, but I didn't know Julie at the time. So I came, I showed up, I did 2 rehearsals and did the Tribeca show. And then left. Right after the Tribeca show, I left. So obviously things weren't going good in the restaurant. And then in May or June, I think it was June, he called me. He said, listen, we're away on Saturday. Any way you could come teach, because we don't have anybody to teach. So I come to the studio and I teach. I teach the class. And when I finish teaching, Raynette pulls me in the office. And Raynette goes, Jeff, we need you to come back, because if you don't come back, Santo Rico Pro Team will be no longer. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you have a good team? Yeah, right now, these people can't get along. Danielle and Maria, Danielle and Mariana, nobody's getting along. They're doing bad shows. Like, we need you. I need you to come back. And I brushed her off. I just said, she wants me back here because she likes me personally. Me and Rene had a fantastic relationship.
Yeah.
So a week later, Thomas writes an email, which I have, right? So just to let people know, keep a lot of receipts. I worked in Residence Life. One of the things Res Life told me was, CYA.
Cover your ass.
Cover your ass.
That's why you document everything.
You document it and you keep it. So he wrote us an email. They went to Tunisia. To this day, I don't know what happened in Tunisia. Thomas wrote us a big email, and he put me on the email. I was on the team. And it was like, all right, guys, after December, Santo Rico Pro Team is done. I've had it. Like, I can't do this anymore. And he writes us a whole long shit about why he hates everybody on the team. And then at the end, he writes, one more thing, Jeff, you're my brother, you're this, you're that. Like, you're the one guy.
Oh, my God.
So he writes, Jeff, you're my brother, this and this and that. So I'm here thinking.
You're my boy, Blue!
Here's my thinking. I'm like, all right, Rene's asking me, this is happening. I'm going through a shitty time in my restaurant. So I talked to my girlfriend at the time, who was Lauren, and I say to Lauren, look, I'm gonna go to the studio once a week. Right? This is a true story. So I go into Thomas' office. I go, look, I'm gonna come back once a week to rehearse. If it's okay with you, I want to get back in shape. At that point, I was like 290 pounds. And I saw I was about 265 most of the time. Anywhere between 250 and 265. And he was like, all right, good, cool. So I come in. And you know how this goes, man. Everybody's just making you feel great. Like, oh, my God. Can you do solo number 2? And it's like, I do it. It's like, oh my God, it looks great. And it's this. So it starts fucking with you. Like, and then it was like, hey man, can you do these 3 gigs? And I was like, yo, this wasn't the deal. I just came back to rehearse. And it was like, yo, I need these gigs. And what I instantly started doing was making everybody feel good. Maria was having bad shows. Put Maria to dance with me. You know, Fausto was in and out, Caesar, and of course, he's not here to defend himself, but I'm gonna say it, and I want everybody to pay attention to this. Thomas and Edwin never got along. Ever. If Thomas needed Edwin to do a show, Thomas would call me and be like, yo, man, you think you can ask your boy to do this show? And I would call Edwin and ask him. And this is how that conversation would go. Yo, E, what's up? What's up? Yo, Thomas needs you to go to Italy. You think you could go? And Edwin would go, yeah, I'll go. And that's how it went. And Edwin will tell you, because he never asked Edwin to do a show. He never had the balls because they didn't get along. I know he loves him now because he's part of the New York movement. And oh my God, like dancers like Edwin, blah, blah, blah. Y'all didn't get a fucking along. You know it. So does Edwin.
You want to whack it?
What? No.
Oh, okay.
They didn't get along. At the end of the day, he needed me to get Edwin to do a show. So either way, I came back and my job was to fix everything, which I did. And Raynette passed. And when Raynette passed, he was like, look, we should do a company, we should do a school, we should do this, we should do that. And I did it. I did the school. Like, eventually I found a spot. We did the school. And from there, our relationship went to absolute shit. It was terrible. From the beginning, all the way through to the end. And you know what? What I realized then is that what he saw in me was potential to do what he had been wanting to do, which was expand. And what he did was he boosted my confidence so that I would take on that journey. And then he took advantage of that. Right? So in the end, who's the bad one? Probably me, because I let myself get fooled. Right? But in the end, like, I can sit here and talk for 2 hours off of all the nasty shit that he did after that. And that's not including the stuff that I found out towards the end and after I left SR.
Yeah.
So that's my issue. That's why for me, it's not really about the money. The problem is with me that I don't really have a lot of enemies. And if I consider you a friend, then I I work really hard to keep that.
You know, and I get all that, and I totally get where you're coming from. I just think that
here we go.
No, and I'm not like
Go ahead,
I know I make a lot of jokes, but I feel like this is the moment for me to be really serious. It's like, yeah, maybe you are at fault, right? But it's like everything was done with good intention.
I think so. I think
everything we did, like everything we did was with, like, nothing was ever done with the idea of ever causing him harm. And I think that's more frustrating because at the end, like, this whole notion of, like, us trying to screw him in any way, shape, or form could have been anything further from the truth. And in essence, when we started doing that and when we went into that adventure, the idea was preserving the name. That was a huge...
Yeah.
That was our goal, was to preserve the name and to, like, keeps a tradition going that had been going for so long. And not only were we not afforded the opportunity to complete that idea, but it was almost made seem like we were trying to steal or sabotage him, which is why I say fuck him. I say that because from, number one, from a point of, like, good intention, I don't think nobody was better intention than the both of us when it came down to it. Number two, we appeased him. We appeased him in every which way possible until appeasing him was no longer, like, a viable option. It was like, yo, we can't do this shit no more. And then it was like, I think you say opportunity to expand. I think he looked at us like he was gonna take advantage of us. I think
Yeah.
he saw.
No.
He looked at us like we were like we were some pushovers from out of town, and we fucking dealt with all that stuff, and he just rode that wave.
Well,
And that's even more unfortunate.
Well, that again, like that's more my fault than yours, because see, like what people, if I could be like, I don't know how this is gonna blow over, but I'm gonna be 100% transparent, right? And I'm gonna be vulnerable for a second, right? So I wanted to do right by him, right? So when I started with him, he used to say things like, "Oh, so many people have done like, so many people have done bad by me. Like, yo, Nelson left and took the whole team, and then Charisma left and took the whole team, and Osmar was just waiting for his opportunity, and he left and he took half the team." And I used to look at it, and I remember I told him one day, I said, "Yo, I'm not trying to leave you and take the team. Like, I'm trying to do it with you." And he looked at me like I was full of shit, and it annoyed me because I was like, "Yo, man, I'm trying to be by your side and do this." And
Makes me want to whack it every time. Like, bro, what?
no, it's just that's
So full of shit that's going with me.
that's where it was. And then here's what really happened, right? Damn, how much time do I have? I don't have a lot of time, right?
Finish your point.
So we start Santo Rico Queens, right? And I'm gonna leave people with this. There's a lot more to go, but I'll leave them with this. We start Santo Rico Queens, right? So just so that you guys can understand. And this all started. If you go on YouTube and you type in Balmir's first anniversary, you're gonna see Santo Rico do Sunset. Okay?
That was at the the menu
No, it was at Balmir Dance Studio.
in the studio.
Yeah. You're gonna see Santo Rico do Sunset.
I hated that number. God.
I like the number a lot. And I choreographed a lot of that
shoes.
routine.
Cuban shoes.
The Cuban shoes sucked, but
Oh my
the
God.
reason I remember that show is because I used your Cuban shoes. And what ended up happening was he's a whole size smaller than me. So the Cuban shoes were really tight, and it was the first show that I had a decent show with Sunset. And I finished the show. And there was somebody in Queens that told me, "Yo, buy the studio off of him and branch off."
Who was it?
It was Charles.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was like, "Buy it."
Yeah, that's right.
So we finished the show, and I said, "Thomas, would you consider selling me Santo Rico Queens?" And he said, "I'd consider it." And he goes, "But I'd want 6 figures." And I said, "Yeah?" And he goes, "Yeah, I want 6 figures." And I said, "Okay, let's see if we could work out a deal to make that happen." Okay? So we negotiate and we work out a deal. He wanted 6 figures, over 6 figures. And I said to him, "Okay." And he goes to me, "Create a contract." You create a contract. He didn't want to pay for it. He didn't want to pay for the contract.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So I went and I created a contract and I took it to a lawyer. And I said, "Hey, I have this contract." And the lawyer goes to me, and this, I swear to everything, he goes to me, "Yeah, this is good. This is fine." And I go, "Okay." So I could take it? He goes, "Yeah, take it to him and sign it." Okay. And then he goes to me, "But I have a question though." I go, "What?" He goes, "You're not going to pay this guy, are you?" The lawyer told me that. This is a true story. "You're not going to pay this guy, are you?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm going to pay him." And he was like, "Why?" He goes, "Why are you going to pay him?" He goes, bro, just give me $10,000 and I'll get you out of this whole shit. And I go to him, I want to do the right thing. And he goes, I mean, it sounds crazy. You're not paying for anything. What are you really paying for? So he was like, you run the studio already. He goes, you're paying for the name? The name doesn't have value. You're not buying Coke. Like, this is not worth it. He told me this. Swear to everything. I said, I want to pay it. I'm going to prove it to you in a second. So we went through the thing, and I paid him every single dime. I paid it. 2014, he decides to expand to Santo Rico, Yonkers.
Yeah.
To Santo Rico, Westchester. And he uses my same contract, and he gives it to Pete.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing, right? And I came in, and I took part ownership. I invested some money in it. I ended up losing that money, which is fine. Because once I decided to leave Santo Rico, which is another story for another day.
Yeah.
I said, I'm out. And Pete was like, hey, I'll go with you. And I was like, deal with him. I don't want to deal with this shit.
And we love Pete.
But I wanted to go, and I left. And obviously, I was teaching in Westchester, so when I left, right, like, I had a big influence there. So the school started to go down, and then Pete eventually closed. And when he closed, Thomas tried to sue him, and it wasn't successful. Why? Because there was really nothing there on the contract. I paid him because I wanted to do the right thing, right? And you could look at that two ways. You could look at that as noble, or you could look at that as me being a herb, whatever. But I did it. What I'm trying to say is that I could have screwed him a long time ago if that's what I really wanted. So when he tells people stuff like that and it comes back to me, he sounds like an idiot because I paid him every dime. I have a receipt for it. And second of all, I could have jerked you from the beginning. Like, there's a lot of shit that he doesn't know. To this day, he doesn't realize. Like, he called me one day, he goes, these taxes are not taken care of. He doesn't know why that happened. He doesn't understand why. He doesn't understand what I did. None of that. He's oblivious to it because the one thing about me is that I'm a lot smarter than him. I am. My issue is that I try to be loyal, and I tried to be loyal to him. But as far as once he crossed me the first time, I was like, okay. And by that time, I was so ahead of him that he didn't even realize what was going on. Right? And I say all of this to tell you guys that I could have screwed his ass from the beginning. I could have.
Should have.
Maybe. But I didn't because I'm a man of my word. And if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'll do it. And at the end of the day, like, he's not a man of his word. He has to live with that. But I am a man of my word. And honestly, he's going to pay for it now. Now he's going to pay for it. Right? Like, this whole shit about going on. Like, people are really going to see who he is. And at the end of the day, I was at SBK last week.
No, a few weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yamule closed. And it came to my mind, like, damn, Yamule is still doing it. And the question is, why is Santo Rico not doing it? Because we should have been bigger than they are now.
We were.
And they should have stayed that way. But at the end of the day, like, I know it kills them, but at the end of the day, it's like, bro, you let yourself get your ass kicked by your student. Your student just, like, literally just trampled over you. Right? Because that's what he says, according to him. Right? Osmar will tell you a different story, but according to him, like, this is a student. And it's like, you let yourself get trampled by this. And honestly, that is on you. You should have never let that shit happen. You allowed it to happen. And at the end of the day, like, bro, SR has not been relevant for years because of it. And it probably will never be relevant ever again.
Yeah. Talk about ending of an era.
What?
Ending of an era.
Yeah, it's the ending
Almost
of
10
and you know,
almost-
it's
that was
crazy.
what, 10 years ago?
Was it?
Yeah.
What year are we in? 2015. Yeah. The crazy shit about it is that to this day, right, like he talks the same shit that he always has, right? And people are like, yo, you know, he said like, yo, Huracan's never gonna amount to anything. And it's like, my man, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but we've been okay. You know? I wonder how he's doing. I don't pay attention. I mean, if I had to guess, he should be killing it in Orlando.
I mean,
He should be killing it in Orlando.
One would guess.
Right?
I had one of his people write to me about something on Facebook once.
What?
I don't remember. It was one of, like, I guess, like his new admin, and she like added me on something for Facebook, and I wrote to her like, hey, I know we don't know each other, but like, please don't kind of tag me on this stuff. And she's like, oh, cool, I apologize, my bad. And I wrote, get out while you still can. I wrote to her.
You wrote to Yeah.
I wonder what her name was. That I mean, again, she was cool. I know it was like an innocent mistake, and she's never done it again. But I was like, yo, I don't know you, but like, just please keep me, like, you know. So,
You wrote that?
I wrote, yeah, get out where you can.
Yeah. He's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, I fucking wish.
Yo, I think Thomas will fuck you up.
I wish. Nothing would make me happier than to have Thomas
I've said this before.
come and attempt it.
What?
To come and fuck me up. Nothing would make me happier than for having to attempt that. I would love it. I think I need to get brought down a little bit. I think I need to get my ass kicked.
Yeah.
So I think so. I agree with you, Jeff. This has been an interesting take today. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think when we do, like, it's funny because people have been asking, like, hey, Abel, why do you keep saying like fuck Thomas? Like, that's kind of like been a normal question.
Yeah, it has.
And I feel like our producer's laughing in the back. I feel like people think, like, number one, I'm really happy. Let's just start there. I don't know if anybody knows me, but life's pretty okay. Number two, I say it because I feel it from the bottom of my heart. It makes me happier every time I say it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like eventually we're gonna have, like, I guess, a series of episodes. Like, we're gonna have to have like the Santo Rico episode. We should have everybody back and like sit and talk about like what happened.
I think like
we have to talk about. We got to talk about a few things. We got to talk about.
This is me brushing the surface, but like, if I really like sat down and started talking,
Yeah.
right? Like, if I really started like really talking about this,
Yeah.
I think most people would be like, wow, right? Like, it'd be kind of shocking.
Yeah. 100%. It's gonna be shocking, but like, I think that people are curious enough. Well, we'll talk about it, and I think that it goes in parts, right? It goes the time there. Obviously, us having the studio. I think the production.
Oh, if we gotta do a production.
We got to do a production episode. And then, like, the aftermath of that production. You know, things like World Ventures.
Oh,
like,
my God.
I know somebody put something up on World Ventures recently.
World Ventures, that shit was...
Like, there was, like, a whole bunch of, like, little... Like, just, like little nails that went into the coffin.
Oh, my God.
You know what I'm saying?
World Ventures ended fucking Harlem. That shit put it away.
So, like, I think people are curious about it. I think, listen, now it's interestingly because when we started doing this, we were like, yo, nobody's going to watch this. Let's just do it and see what happens. And now we're actually starting to get, like, real responses, and, like, people are, like, we're, like, meeting people, and they're like, yo, we watch your podcast. It's awesome. And it's important for us to bring you guys content with, like, the artists and who they are, because a lot of the artists we don't know enough about. And it's important to understand their trajectories because I feel like for other dancers that could be inspiring. And it also lets people know, like, yo, we're a lot more alike than we are different. Number two is, like, our story, our platform. We want to come and we want to obviously promote our events, but then we also have a story as well. And I think our story is a lot more intricate and interesting because of all of it. I mean, it's a long road, and it has a lot of twists and turns. And we have a very unique experience because, as much as we love this, we have seen a negative part of this, and we've dealt with that. And
It's part of the game.
It's part of it. It's part of it, and it's part of being young entrepreneurs, and it's part of issues and things that maybe happen to us. Maybe you avoid it in the future. Mm-hmm. One thing about our community is we always talk about we don't have enough information. We're not sharing, or we're not business savvy, or blah 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 blah. And it's like, as a community, our best source of information is actually each other. Like, when we have Diane on, it's important for everybody to see Diane on because, she is a principal that's doing something really, really huge. Again, she's doing it with her husband. But in terms of we don't have many female promoters in our scene that are doing stuff
in New York.
In New York, on the scale that she's doing it. So it's important for people to hear what she has to say. And I think she's a super successful, intelligent woman. And it's important to hear her perspective because it's very easy for Jeff and I to come in here and be like, yo, you people are crazy. But there's a consensus on each side, and maybe we can figure out a way where we can all work with each other and keep this being successful. So
and
that
again,
we can keep providing opportunities for the
I,
dancers and for the social dancers.
There's two things I'm gonna say. A lot of people ask me like, yo, why y'all doing this? And one of the reasons is because we just want to share our story and everybody's story.
Yeah.
Is this about gossip? Maybe. There's some gossip involved.
Which is cool.
Is this about like us? Yeah. Is this about other people? Yes. All of it is true. Yeah. And that's okay. The other thing I want to say is, I get asked this a lot. And honestly, in the beginning, I was against it, but it happened. And, he caught me off guard the first episode, but he says, fuck Thomas. And it's like, why do you say that? Like, that's not cool. You shouldn't say that. Well, I'm going to defend him. You know why he says that? Because Thomas is a bully. And at the end of the day, that's how you deal with bullies. You don't mediate a situation with a bully. You attack it head on. That's the reality of it. And you know what? He's a police officer and he deals with bullies. He deals with bullies that bully other women. He deals with bullies that bully other people, right? So for him, he doesn't see Thomas as anything else. He doesn't see him as a pioneer or this or whatever you guys say.
Absolutely not.
He sees him as a bully, and that's how he treats him because that's how he feels.
I see him as one of the biggest issues that we have in our dance community. We talk a lot about problems in our scene, and he is, for me,
the biggest.
If not, he's got to be top 3 all time.
I agree.
So for me,
I don't disagree.
So for me, and again, and this is my brother, and I love him to death, and he's my best friend, and I'm sure he would do anything, but I want to make sure that I'm very clear. I have him very accountable for my words. So as much as he could defend me, yeah, and I appreciate it. Like, I'm very comfortable saying what I say because it's how I feel. It's my truth. I'm sure it's a lot of people's truth, right?
I agree.
I don't think people are as forthcoming as I am, which is totally fine because your way is okay, just like my way is okay. But again, right, like it doesn't need to be defended because it's the truth. He's just a fucking asshole. Unfortunately, there aren't nicer words to use, right? There's no politically correct way to say it. So I'm going to say it the way it comes out, and that's the way it comes out. And like, it's funny that this veered into this today, but I'm glad that it did because I think it gives us a little bit more context and insights. It's funny, like your perspective and my perspective are different. Mm-hmm. When I wanted to kind of let it out because now that I understand you, I'm going to give you my perspective of that time when we do have this conversation again and when we go more in depth. And I think that when we go into those parts and we can kind of go into those times in life because
maybe we've never really talked about it like that.
We haven't. And there's, like I said, bro, we haven't talked about the production. I would really love to get that group together and do a special episode on the production. And people don't even know what we're talking about because, we
It
didn't.
never happened.
It was almost like it never happened, and it was a year of our lives that we gave up to do this thing. And it literally, it was like almost like it. The fact that it's almost like it never happened is crazy to me. It almost feels like, all that work, all that sacrifice, all that effort, and we don't even have a video of it. Mm-hmm. Like, all we have are like a few remaining pictures that I have on Facebook.
Very few.
And then pretty much the video that you took at the end. And it's crazy that what we did, which was incredible that night. That was a very special night. Mm-hmm. Not just for us. I think it was a special night in the history of our dance. Like, there were so many incredible things within that week that we don't even realize that are important to address. And it's like, we don't even have a fucking video of that. It's crazy to me. It's almost, I don't even know, it doesn't bother me because I don't think about it. But now in this moment, it's like, damn, bro, I wish I would have loved to, like, just to show Jaden that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even have that to show Jaden. Look at mom, dad, and your uncle. Look at what they did in Germany. Like, we don't even have that. It's crazy. And I'm sure that we don't have that, not just because there was video of it. It was taken. I'm pretty sure it was because he was a fucking asshole.
Well, he had a fight with the promoter.
Which is crazy. It's like, bro, how selfish could you fucking be that you couldn't
get the video first and then fight?
Fucking idiot. Oh my God.
Yeah.
God, it makes me want to fucking throw my mic across the room.
I get it.
Anyways, Jeff, good episode, man. It was very heartfelt. I like this vibe too on the chairs, and I feel real open.
Yeah.
I feel a lot more open to the audience. I want you guys can, take a look at me.
I could have said a lot of other shit.
No, but we're gonna say that for I don't
want to really have this real talk without having Edwin here.
Yeah, we gotta have Edwin here.
Without Edwin here.
Yeah, because
I said some things and it's like Edwin can't defend it. That's not fair.
Yeah. No, right? But I don't think you said anything negative about it.
But maybe it's my perspective and not his.
Yeah. Nah, and not for nothing, Edwin rode out for that cause. He did everything that he was supposed to. Everything he was ever asked, he did it. And I agree with you. I think we gotta have more people here so that people can have context. I think people need to.
Yeah,
we gotta reach out to these people.
We need to talk.
Oh my God, Danielle.
Yeah.
I would, dude, just the Danielle situation. I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah.
That shit just infuriated me. Just me thinking about that.
The Julie. Remember the meeting after?
Yeah, I do remember.
He told Julie off, and we went downstairs, and everybody was really angry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyways, guys, this was a great episode. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, This Scene of Ours. Make sure you follow me, DJ Abel NYC. Make sure you follow Jeff at Jeff Huracan. All right. Tri-State Dance Fest is coming up. That's going to be July 2nd to the 6th this year. We're starting on a Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, which is going to be a day earlier, but it's going to make it just as fun. We're ending it on a Saturday, which is going to be dope. And then New York Congress, of course, Labor Day weekend, we are going to have our special lineup out ASAP, our concert series, our artists, etc. It's going to be great. We're doing something special this year for New York, something that's never been done for New York, because we're gearing up for the 25th year anniversary, which is next year, 2026. We are trying to do the most epic Congress in the history of Congresses. That's my goal. I'm not going to sleep until we get it done. If anybody wants to sponsor us, we'd love to have your business, and we'd love to talk to you. Shout out to Gene Franco with the shoes. I have a pair. Jeff's got a pair. They're what are probably our favorite dance shoes. They're stylish. They're clean. They're good to work in. I got 2 pairs myself, and they come to Tri-State in New York. So if you need a pair, make sure you see them there. And again, anybody else who's interested in sponsoring us, we'd love to talk to you. We'd love to work with you. And we have some great initiatives that we're trying to put forth to make our community better and doper. Big shout out. We don't do this enough to our producer, Abel. All right. Okay. Abel Américo Bautista. That's my man right there, tocayo mío. Abel makes sure he gives us his honest opinion.
Shout out to my wife, Julie.
Shout out to Julie, because Julie makes sure she puts those clothes on Jeff. Jeff hasn't worn that that the sheepskin that he wore in the first season. We left that alone, which I'm really appreciative as well. On that note, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We have more episodes coming soon. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Peace.
Kind of hoping it hits you in the head.